check about this one. This is a mixture of fiber and nut. So the first thing we need to do is to get rid of the fiber. Otherwise, it will totally affected about our palm kernel oil quality. So this is the separator, fiber and nut separator. We have to totally separate the fiber out of the nuts. How are you? This is Oliver from Henan Jun Company. Our company it is located in Henan Province, China, and so does our factory. We have 2 factories total, which the amount is about 20,000 meters, which is a really large factory. And then let's check about this one. This is the input hopper, and it is totally connected to this bucket elevator. So when the palm kernels get into this hopper, it will get into the bucket elevator automatically to do the transportation job. And right now you guys are about to see this part is about our kernel and shell separator. And before that, we do have a magnetic separator here to separate about the magnetic items. I mean, the separator, the magnetic separator, it is not expensive at all. But you can imagine once mixed with like a small nail or small iron, it will totally damage about the whole system, about the equipment. So we want to make sure all the equipment it is totally protected and all the process it is totally safe. That is the details we are focusing. We have done the oil and fats business about 10 years. To be specific, that is 12 years, and we do accumulate so many experience about that, because I mean, the first year or the second year we may didn't notice about this thing. So right now we have the mature pressing line, and we have the mature system, mature equipment here, and we have done a lot of better promotion on the basis of other countries' equipment. So if you do like to have the high quality, the oil presser or the filter equipment with the low cost, you can just reach to us. We do have the best quality with the low cost. And right now let's keep checking for this video. And normally we'll set a magnetic separator to separate it about the iron items, for example like the nails or some magnetic things. And then we have this grinding machine here. This is our grinding machine. I'm sure you guys can tell from this video the size for this grinding machine. It is totally different. I mean, the mesh, one it is a bigger mesh and the other one have a smaller mesh. The purpose for this equipment is to separate about the nuts into 2 parts, bigger size one and smaller size one. So when the nuts it is small nuts, it will automatically drop from the smaller mesh one, and if the nuts it is bigger, it cannot pass about the smaller mesh. It will directly get into the bigger mesh part. Alright, so the purpose for this grinding machine is to separate the nuts into 2 parts so that we can do the better cracking. And also protect about our equipment. So smaller mesh and bigger mesh, smaller nuts will automatically drop through this mesh, and the bigger nuts will automatically drop through the bigger size one. And then the grinding machine, it is connected to the cracker here to crack about the nuts into like shells and kernels. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the live. This is Oliver from Henan Jun Company, and right now it is our most popular equipment. It is called kernel and shell separator here. And after cracking, shells and kernels will all get into the screw conveyor and through the bucket elevator to the separation system. This is basically how we separate about the items. You guys can see. Can you guys see about the blue equipment that is set here? The blue equipment, it is actually a fan, and due to the differences to the weight differences, the kernel it is heavy and the shells it is lighter, so the kernels will automatically drop to the bottom outlet, and the shells will collected by the cyclone, which to avoid the shells is flying in the workshop and to affect the later process. And this one, it is our cyclone to collect the shells in void of like the shells flying around inside of the workshop, and it is really hard to clean. That is also what we do for the details. And let's see about, this is the kernel outlet, and over this part this is the shell outlet, and this is the kernel outlets. After we have obtained the kernel and it is get into this crusher, for this equipment it is to totally crush the kernels into like 3 parts or 4 parts so that it can increase the whole kernels, and we can easily to control the water content and the humidity in the cooker. Right now you guys can see for this cooker it only has one LED. This is the inlet and also this is the outlet. When the kernels get into this equipment, it has a really special design. It is adopted inside of the equipment. You can see a really special design. When the kernels get into this cooker, get into this roaster, it will, when the equipment is rotate, the kernels will also rotate with the equipment, so that we can easily to control the water content, control the humidity, control the temperature for the kernels. And I mean, after 30 minutes or after 20 minutes, when we have done the cook, we can easily to change the rotate way. Let me show you about it. After done the cooking, change the way, and all the kernels will automatically out at the same with the inlet. So really high efficient one, and saving a lot of labor costs. And for especially for this one, has a really special design. And then through the bucket elevator, it will get into our presser, palm kernel oil presser. Welcome Andy Wang. And we just set another hopper here, and this is the inlet for the palm kernel oils, for the oil presser, palm kernel oil presser. And later I would like to show you about every single details for this presser, really high efficient one. And for different oil seeds, we do have different oil presser, and for your different amount of the oil seeds, we have different capacity from 1 ton per day, 1 ton per hour, to 2 ton per hour, to 5 ton per hour, to 10 ton per hour, 50 ton per hour, and 100 to, so we do have a lot of different capacity one for it. And if you're interested about the palm kernel oil presser, you can leave something in the comment. Our salesman will reach you really soon. And we are using the pump to do the transportation job to put all the palm kernel oils get into this plate filter. And when the palm kernel oils get into this equipment, there are so many meshes it is adopted inside of the equipment. All the palm oils will get into the mesh, one mesh by another mesh, and then to remove about the small, really tiny impurities, and also for the water content to make sure the final palm kernel oil quality. As we all know, if the final crude oils have water content as is inside, you cannot storage the water, storage the oil for a really long time. Welcome Ibrahim. Maria, how are you doing, Maria? Welcome to the live. This is Oliver from Hunan Company. How are you doing? How are you doing, Ibrahim? This is Oliver, and right now I'm totally showing you the palm kernel oil pressing line, and later I will show you about the palm oil pressing line. And after filter out of the water content and the small impurities, we have already obtained the clean crude palm oils.